Eleanor always loved morning walks, but lately, stepping outside felt harder. Stiff joints, aching knees, and a lingering thought, what if I fall? So she stayed in, moving less each day. One afternoon, she saw an old friend, full of energy, walking with ease. The secret? Her friend smiled. Keep moving, no matter what. That moment changed everything. If you've been slowing down, feeling unsure, stay with me. Today we're uncovering 8 simple ways to stay active, confident, and independent at any age. One Eleanor woke up feeling stiff again. It had become part of her routine, slowly easing herself out of bed, stretching her legs before standing, and hoping the discomfort would fade. Some mornings, she hesitated to get up at all. Movement felt like a challenge, rather than something natural. One day, she mentioned it to her daughter, who immediately asked, "Mom, do you stretch in the morning?" Eleanor chuckled. "Stretch? I can barely roll out of bed." That's when her daughter showed her 3 simple movements she could do without even standing up. Just a few days later, something shifted. She felt looser, lighter, and standing up didn't feel like such a task anymore. A gentle knee-to-chest stretch, slow ankle rotations, and a shoulder roll became her new morning habit. It took less than 5 minutes, but the difference was undeniable. Her body felt awake before she even left the bed. She realized that movement didn't have to be big or difficult. The smallest steps mattered, and this was just the beginning. 2. Encouraged by how much better she felt in the mornings, Eleanor decided to take things further. She wanted to move more throughout the day, but didn't know where to start. Then she remembered something her doctor had said. Just walk for 10 minutes. That's it. It sounded too simple. Would 10 minutes even make a difference? She decided to try. One evening, instead of settling into her chair after dinner, she put on comfortable shoes and walked to the end of her driveway. The next day, she went a little further. By the end of the week, she was walking around the block. To her surprise, it felt good. She wasn't forcing herself through a workout. She was just enjoying fresh air, feeling her legs move, and noticing how much energy she had afterward. She started setting a timer, reminding herself to move for just 10 minutes after each meal. Walking indoors, pacing while talking on the phone, even stepping side to side while washing dishes. It all counted. She no longer felt stuck in one place. The more she moved, the easier it got. And for the first time in years, she didn't feel weighed down by stiffness. She felt free. 3. Eleanor started feeling stronger, but she still had one lingering thought. She didn't want exercise to feel like a chore. That's when she noticed something. She was already moving every day, sweeping the floor, carrying groceries, bending down to pick things up. All of it required strength. One afternoon, while folding laundry, she realized she could turn everyday tasks into easy movement. She started standing on one leg while brushing her teeth, squatting to pick up laundry instead of bending over, and stretching her arms while reaching for dishes. She even tried something fun, putting on music while cleaning. Instead of rushing through chores, she swayed, stepped side to side, and turned housework into a light workout. To her surprise, these small changes made her feel more in control of her body. She wasn't just sitting still anymore. She was using movement in ways that felt natural. And with every step, stretch, and subtle change, she realized something important. Staying active wasn't about forcing exercise. It was about embracing movement in her everyday life. 4. Eleanor had made progress, but she still worried about losing strength. What if she wasn't strong enough to catch herself if she stumbled? She had seen friends lose mobility over time, and the thought of struggling to get up from a chair or climb stairs made her uneasy. One day, at her local community center, she saw a group of seniors doing exercises, but they weren't standing. They were comfortably seated, moving their arms and legs with ease. Chair exercises. Curious, she joined a session. At first, she doubted if it would make a difference. But within minutes, she felt the muscles in her legs engaging, her arms strengthening. And the best part? It was easy on her joints. She started doing a few exercises at home, seated leg lifts while watching TV, gentle arm raises, and small knee extensions. Just 10 minutes a day, and she could feel herself getting stronger. After a few weeks, something surprising happened. Standing up from her chair became easier. She no longer pushed off the armrests or hesitated before rising. Strength wasn't just about lifting heavy weights. It was about keeping her body capable of doing everyday things. 5. Eleanor's confidence grew, but one thing still made her nervous: losing balance. She had tripped on the edge of a rug before, catching herself just in time. But what if she couldn't next time? The idea of falling terrified her. That's when she remembered a tip from her doctor. Balance isn't just something you have. It's something you can improve. She started small, standing on one foot while brushing her teeth, taking a few side steps while cooking, walking heel to toe along a hallway. At first it felt wobbly, but she kept at it. Slowly, her steps felt steadier. She no longer hesitated when reaching for something or turning quickly. One morning, as she stepped off the curb, she realized she didn't have to grab a railing for support. For the first time in years, she trusted her body to stay upright. 6. Eleanor had come a long way, but she wanted to move, feel less like an obligation, and more like something she enjoyed. She needed something that didn't feel like a workout, something fun. That's when she thought back to a moment from years ago, dancing in the kitchen while cooking, lost in the rhythm of her favorite song. She smiled, wondering why she ever stopped. The next day, she played music while making breakfast. Without even thinking, she started moving, stepping side to side, swaying her hips. It was effortless. It felt good. She realized movement didn't have to be structured. It could be playful, spontaneous, and joyful. So she started doing more of it, marching in place while waiting for the kettle to boil, clapping along to a song, and even waltzing across her living room. One afternoon, her neighbor caught her humming and tapping her feet on the porch. "What's gotten into you?" she asked with a laugh. Eleanor just grinned. "I'm moving," she said, "and it feels amazing." 7. Eleanor had made incredible progress. She moved more, felt stronger, and even enjoyed little moments of activity throughout the day. But one thing still made her pause. She wasn't sure when to push herself and when to take it easy. One afternoon, she decided to go for a longer walk than usual. The sun was warm and she felt good. But halfway through, a dull ache crept up her legs. She hesitated. Should she keep going? Or was this a sign to stop? She remembered something her doctor once said. Listen to your body. Pain is a signal, not a challenge. Instead of pushing through, she slowed her pace, took a few deep breaths, and permitted herself to rest. The next day, she walked again, but at a gentler pace, stopping when needed. And to her surprise, she felt stronger, not weaker. She learned that movement should feel good, not forced. If something hurt, she modified it. If she felt fatigued, she rested. Moving consistently mattered more than pushing hard. For the first time, she felt in control of her body, not the other way around. 8. Eleanor had built a routine she loved, but there was one thing missing: motivation. Some days she felt energized. Others, she struggled to even put on her walking shoes. Then she had an idea. What if she tracked her progress? Not in numbers, not in weight, but in small victories. She grabbed a notebook and wrote down her first entry. Stretched in bed, walked to the mailbox, felt good. The next day, she added, walked for 15 minutes, balanced on one foot while brushing my teeth. felt steady. She wasn't aiming for perfection, just proof that she was moving. A few weeks later, she flipped through the pages and smiled. Every little effort had added up. Tracking movement didn't have to be complicated. Marking a calendar, jotting down small wins, or even setting a daily goal. Each reminder kept her moving. And on the tough days, when she doubted herself, all she had to do was look back at how far she'd come. Eleanor never thought movement could feel this natural again. She no longer hesitates. She walks with confidence, stretches with ease, and enjoys every step. Staying active wasn't about pushing hard. It was about showing up for herself every day. Now it's your turn. Start small. Move for just 5 minutes today, because every step forward is a step towards strength, independence, and feeling fully alive.